Book 1, Chapter 22, Spring Ends, Autumn Comes, Part 1. Actually, all of the elemental styles, including Earth style, had their own particular strengths. But as a saint-level Grand Magus of the Earth style, it was only natural that Doering Cowart would strongly praise the Earth style. The 8-year-old Linley, upon hearing Doering's words, was filled with eagerness. "Grandpa Doering! Hurry up and test me and see if I have any aptitude for becoming an Earth style Magus." Linley was feeling extremely anxious. Doering Cowart began to laugh. "Fine, I'll test you right away. First, let me tell you that the test for magical aptitude is a 2-part test. So the test I am administering will also have 2 parts. Doering Cowart was behaving in an unusually generous manner. After having been trapped along in the Coiling dragon ring for 5,000 years, of course he was now in a wonderful mood when faced with such a cute little child. Magical aptitude is divided into 2 parts. The strength of one's magical affinity for certain elements and the strength of one's mental energy. Doering Cowart began to explain the basics of the test. "What are these 2 parts good for?" Linley asked curiously. Doering Cowart said in a kindly voice, "Linley, before answering this, let me ask you, if a Magus is about to cast a spell, what does he rely upon?" "Magical incantations," Linley immediately said. Linley had seen how the Magus who rode the Velocidragon first mumbled many magical words before casting his spell. "Wrong. I've seen Magi cast spells. All of them recited magical incantations first," Linley immediately argued. Doering Cowart stroked his white beard and contentedly said, "When casting spells, the most important thing for a Magus is mage force and his mental energy. If his mental energy is sufficiently powerful, he can even instacast spells without need for any incantations. Magical incantations only serve a supplemental function." "Oh? Instacast?" Linley looked questioningly at Doering Cowart. Linley felt as though suddenly the huge world of sorcery was slowly opening up before his very eyes, but still remained hazy and indistinct. Doering Cowart, however, was dissipating the mysterious facade behind this world of magic. Smiling, Doering Cowart nodded. "Right. To cast a spell, your body must be able to provide a sufficient amount of mage force, and then use mental energy to control that mage force to summon sufficient elemental essence to form it into a spell." "Elemental essence?" Linley was surprised. "Grandpa Doering, are you saying that in order to cast magical spells, we need to draw upon external elemental essences?" "Haha, of course, Linley. Did you think that a powerful Magus could simply rely on the elemental essence already in his body? Impossible. Let's look at forbidden-level magical spells. The mage force in the body of a saint-level Magus can only provide 1% of the amount of essence needed. The other 99% can only be provided by natural elemental essence. Let me put it to you like this. A Magus's so-called mage force is really just pure, highly refined elemental essence. Mage force can be described as a general, whereas nature's elemental essence is the soldier's. A Magus summons his mage force and uses it to direct nature's elemental essence to form amazing spells. Understood?" Doering Cowart smiled as he looked at Linley. Linley couldn't help but frown. "Oh, I understand." Linley laughed and nodded. "The mage force inside a Magus is kinda like Uncle Hillman, while elemental essence is like our group of kids. Uncle Hillman, all by himself, directs our entire group in training, or in attacking, or engaging in battle." Doering Cowart smiled and nodded. "Right. Therefore, the mage force of a Magus is extremely important. If he doesn't have enough mage force, he will not be able to cast a spell." Linley nodded. "Compared to mage force, however, mental energy is even more important." Doering Cowart smiled as he spoke. "By now, you should have realized that so-called mental energy is really spiritual energy, a form of controlling energy. Linley, a large amount of mage force draws out an even larger amount of elemental essence. If such a huge amount of force is not controlled by spiritual energy, what do you think the end result would be?" Doering Cowart stroked his white beard as he quietly watched Linley. Linley frowned, pondering. "Grandpa Doering?" Linley said in a low voice as he frowned. "In some books, I read about some military tactics. In it, one of the things it said was to subdue an enemy, first subdue their king, for example, bandits. If you first kill the bandit leader, the bandit army will naturally crumble to pieces and fall apart. So spiritual energy should serve a similar purpose as the controlling energy, which the bandit leader exerts on his subordinates. Without spiritual energy to control a large amount of mage force and elemental essence, this power would run wild. Durin Cowart laughed. "Ha, Linley, you are very smart." Durin Cowart was laughing happily. "Right, a large amount of mage force and elemental essence, when controlled by spiritual energy, can be formed into a spell. Sometimes, in order to execute a particularly powerful spell, too high of a demand is placed upon one's spiritual energy. Thus, the assistance of magical incantations is needed." Durin Cowart smiled as he spoke. Linley felt as though a huge, important principle of magic had suddenly become crystal clear to him. Smiling at Linley, Durin Cowart continued, "Of course, that's just the basic theory. The world of magic is far more complicated than you can imagine. The question of exactly how one uses mage force and elemental essence to form magic, now that's the real issue. What's the point of having mage force if you don't know exactly how to shape it into a magical spell?" Durin Cowart let out a long sigh. The world of magic is an extremely complicated one. Magical research is very difficult and dangerous, but due to intra-empire struggles, countless magi engage in the research of new types of spells. Actually, every single empire researches new ways of using different matrices of mage force and elemental essence to produce different spells, but magical research is extremely dangerous. The more destructive a spell potentially is, the harder it is to research. Sometimes, it can even catastrophically backlash upon the researchers. Durin Cowart laughed as he spoke. "In most Magus academies, you can only study spells up to the 6th rank. Spells of the 7th, 8th, and 9th ranks, as well as saint-level spells, are considered secrets. Only if you join a kingdom will you gain access to those special spells." Linley had read many books and therefore understood this principle. If you have no instructor, no matter how much mage force you have or how high your spiritual energy is, you won't be able to execute a single spell. Durin Cowart smiled faintly. The profound secrets of every magical spell lies in how to control mage force and elemental essence to form the spell. After countless years of magical experimentation, the magical system has essentially been perfected. Stroking his white beard, Durin Cowart laughed loudly. "Linley, don't worry. In the future, there's no need for you to bend the knee to any kingdom or any lord, because I can teach you 7th, 8th, 9th, and even saint-level spells." Linley took a deep breath. He could feel himself embarking on a new path. Under the guidance of Grandpa Durin, he had no need to continue to follow the path of the warrior. He would now embark on the more mysterious, more powerful way of the Magus. "Come, let's begin the test of the strength of your elemental affinities. Sit down with legs crossed, close your eyes, and enter a meditative state," Durin Cowart said gently. Meditative state? Linley felt his heartbeat quicken. How would his affinity rate? Don't worry. Just carefully try and see what you can sense, and whenever you sense something, just tell me. Durin Cowart smiled encouragingly towards Linley. Linley immediately closed his eyes and tried to force himself to calm down. "Don't worry, just do as I instruct," Durin Cowart said in a gentle voice. Meditation was one of the basic underpinnings of all Maguses. It was needed for both absorbing elemental essence to transform it into mage force and for improving one's spiritual energy. The first time entering a meditative state was the most difficult and dangerous one, but of course, under the guidance of a saint-level Grand Magus, Linley wouldn't find it too difficult. After half an hour of instruction, Linley finally entered the meditative state for the first time. Seeing Linley in a meditative state, Durin Cowart let out a faint smile, then waved his hand. Immediately, a large amount of earth essence began to swirl around Linley. Normally, most places only had an ordinary density of earth essence, but right now, Durin Cowart was using his powerful spiritual energy to increase the density of earth essence near Linley by 100-fold. If he still can't sense any earth essence around him, even under these conditions, then there's no hope for him at all. Durin Cowart said to himself, even a totally ordinary person should sense something, given that the density of earth essence was 100 times greater than normal. Right now, Linley, still in a meditative state, felt extremely happy and excited. He had never realized that around him there were so many amazing things. Countless earth-coloured specks of light were floating around him in such a high density as to be shocking.